This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we have seen about your BAPI. So how to create a BAPI, how to convert the BAPI, and what are the scenarios where we can use our BAPI. So these are the details we have seen. What are the ground rules should be gets followed for converting of into a BAPI? What is the main purpose of a BAPI, which is used to communicate between BAPI is mainly used to communicate between the SAP to the non-SAP systems. If I want to transfer the data between an SAP and non-SAP systems, so or SAP to SAP also we can do it. So we will be using this BAPI. This is the first way of communicating the data between the systems. This is the first way of converting the data between the systems. Right now we are not at all using BAPI for for communicating between an external system with SAP. So in order to communicate between an external system between SAP, either we will be using the iDocs, or we will be using the web services, or we will be using the OData services, or we will be using uh, yeah, the file interfaces, the file interfaces, or we can say proxies the proxies. So these are the things which we are going to use for communicating. But this is the initial way to communicate. But later on, these upgrades has been came up into picture, and people are starting using these upgrades. The file interface also right now people are not using, only for transferring between the banks to SAP. So if I want to transfer a data to a bank, to ICICI Bank or SBI banks, if I want to transfer that, then we will be using the file interface. In any other cases, we are not at all using the file interfaces as per my knowledge, which currently I am seeing in the market. I'm seeing in the market, I'm telling you this. Okay. So now, internally, if I go ahead and see either the iDocs or web services or OData services or proxies, internally, we will always call BAPI to post the documents, to post slash update slash delete the documents. When you are creating a new thing, either it can be a web service or OData or a proxies, internally always we will be using the BAPI, or I can say this one as your function modules also. BAPI is a function module, as you already know, to post or update or to delete the documents. Internally we will be using this. Externally, so it can be an idoc structure or web service structure or OData service, like that. If I go ahead and see, let's say for example I'm working with a file interface. So previously we have seen this. So we will be adding the file to AL11. From that, we will be reading the file. We'll be reading the file, and what we have done, we have created our BDC data and posted, right? So and posted the transaction. So read the file, and we have, so this thing we will be replaced with the BAPI posting, irrespective of this. Now here, why we have to go ahead always with the BAPI instead of BDC? So what is the reason behind why people will always choose BAPI? The reason behind to choose BAPI instead of BDC. So BDC is a recording transaction. It's a recording. It's a recording. Recording. So what we will be do, we will be going to SHDB and we will be recording the transaction. You know that, right? Right? So now, but when we are using this recording, let's say for example, our system gets upgraded, there might be a chance where the the fields placeholders can be changed. The fields placeholders holders can be changed. So let's say, for example, right now, the material type, or the old material number, let's say right now, for example, I'm telling you, in the 1000 screen right now, in this 1000 screen, maybe after that they can change the screen number to 2000. Maybe I'm telling you guys, there might be a chance. Right now when you are using this BDC recording, so it will go ahead and find out. Previously our existing recording was with the screen 1000, but right now what is the screen number 2000. So it will throw you an error saying that in that following screen we don't have the old material number, but the old material is available in that, in separate screen. We need to again change the entire BDC program. We need to change the entire BDC program. So for this reason, we will not allow you to use BDC in our real time until and unless if you don't have any other option. Until and unless if you don't have any other option, we will not allow them to go ahead and use the BDC. You have to provide a justification saying that we don't find any BDC or we don't find any function module to create the respective documents in SAP, to create that. So that's the main reason we are going ahead with your BDC. Okay, so that's a proof of concept you have to provide to your lead slash manager. So if they are approved with that, so then you are allowed you to go ahead and use your BDC. You are allowed to use. Okay, so till that time, you have to always go ahead with the BAPI. But when we are going ahead with the BAPI, so BAPI will be a different way. So in that, it will be postings directly, updates directly to the database, updates directly, directly to the database, not through the transaction. Not through the transaction, it will update directly. How we will be writing our native SQL queries, native native SQL queries. So it will go ahead and do the updates with those things. Okay, so that's the main reason we'll always choose your BAPI. So this is the one. So now, as I told you, how can we convert a function module to a BAPI? So as it is 2 days, 3 days, so I'm just reminding everything and then we'll be going ahead. So in order to convert the function module into a BAPI, the first thing is RFC enabled, and all the parameters must be passed by value. All the parameters must be passed by values. And the third one is all the all the parameters respective types declarations, parameters respective type declarations must be starts with BAPI or ZBAPI or ZBAPI. And there is one more point also. What is that? The name of the function module, the name of the function module must be starts with BAPI or ZBAPI. So these are the four ground rules you need to always remember when you are doing this, when you are converting a function module to a BAPI. All the parameters must be passed by value. All the parameter respective types declaration must starts with the BAPI or the ZBAPI. So the type, so whatever the type, associated type, I will say, respect to associated type, I would say like this. Associated type must be starts with the BAPI or your ZBAPI. So these are the things you need to remember when you're working on it. So in which scenarios we can work with our BAPI? So as I already told you, scenarios we can work with our BAPI. We can work. So one is getting the data from the database, getting the data from the database. I can say next, posting slash changing slash deleting the data from the database, from your database. Now, when you are using a BAPI, this is also one more thing. When we are using a BAPI, so we need to always write two more statements. We need to always write two more statements. What are those? One is two more function modules, I would say. Two more function modules. Why I need to write that? I already told you. One is BAPI transaction commit, and next one is BAPI transaction rollback. So these are the two things. So one is BAPI transaction commit and the other one is BAPI transaction rollback. These are the two things. Why we need to use it? So as I told you, it will uses your native SQL queries. So I told you when we are using the native SQL queries, what we have to use: commit work and rollback work. Rollback work. But as these are going to be called from a third party system, so how they can go ahead and write their explicit commit and rollback work? So these are the two things which we need to write down. So these two things will determine from your third party system. If I copy this one, see, it's an RFC enabled. If I go to SE37, C37, if I provide this BAPI transaction commit, and you can see here, if I go to my display and see here in the attributes, you can see here this is an RFC enabled. From the third party system, if they have to enable, if they want to commit to the database, they will be using this BAPI transaction commit or BAPI transaction rollback. Okay, so these are the two things which you need to remember. Now, so let's see our requirement, how we are going to do it. So first of all, what we need to do, first of all, so let's say I want to post the material documents, in the SAP system. In our SAP system, I want to post our material documents. So then what we need to do? The first thing, the first and the foremost thing we have to do it is, firstly, we need to find the right BAPI. How can you find out? With the help of your BAPI transaction code. So as I told you, we do have a transaction code called as a BAPI. With the help of that, you can able to find out your right BAPI for which business module, or else check in Google. Check in Google. It will give you the things, so you can use that one. Then what we need to do, we need to sit with the functional. We need to sit with the functional, and we need to populate all the details. Whatever the details they are requesting, we need to populate, or use the BAPI which 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 is used to get the details of that particular material. Get the details of that particular material. So which is nothing but this, which is nothing but get the details BAPI. So get details BAPI, use that and get the details of that particular material, and the same details we will be providing in your create. The structures will be the same. I'll show you that one also. If I go here, I have already shown you that one in your last class. Anyways, again I'm going to show you. So now, so this is my BAPI material get all. So if I just click on execute, let me find out a material /o sc16n. So I'm going to my material Mara. So created by, I'm just giving this username, whoever the username which is provided in this system, I'm just giving that one. So now let's take, I'm going to use this material. So now, so we have to ask, so go ahead and create a material and use the display transaction. So now just click on execute. You can see here what are the different data that are available. What are the different data that are available? And the same way, if I go to /o SC37, as I already told you, this is the BAPI for saving of your material in SAP. When you click on execute, see here, you will be having your client data. Whatever the client data you will be having, you can able to see that client data, and then plant data, and then forecast parameters, and then planning data. You can able to see here the planning data, and then storage location data, and then valuation data, warehouse number data, sales data, strategy type data. So everything you can able to see. Production one source, and lift valuation data. We don't have these things, so I think it can be over here. And then in the same way, you will be having your material description, units of measures, and international client numbers. You can able to see here material long text, tax clarifications. So these are the things. What these are the things. See, whatever you are going to provide, you can able to get with the help of your display data. Now try to pass the same details in your respective creation, and to create your material and showcase that material to your functional, whether these are the values that you are looking for, or any other values do I need to populate, whether these are the values you're looking for, or do I need to populate any other values. So that's the question you need to ask. If they say, if they are okay, then we need to go ahead and create the respective program, and the mappings, you have to take care of it. So now let me go ahead and show you that one. So how I will be doing this one. So in the create scenario, the first thing is, we will be going to my head data. Here we need to provide. So as if you are confusing with this, so what these are single lines. So if you are confusing with this, just click on this single entry. You can able to see what are the details you have. So now what is your material? So let me go to my notepad which we have just created. So material, so I'm just going to give a material. So this is my material. Next, industry sector. So industry sector is one we have created, and material type ZMDG. ZMDG. So I'm just going to create this DG. And what are the views you are creating? When I go ahead to my MM01, let me show you that one also. /O MM01. Mm, okay. So I'm just going to take retail, let's take, and then I'm going to create a finished product. Now when I click on continue, so these are the views. What are the views you want to go ahead and create in SAP? Those views you have to provide. See, if I go here, you can see here the basic data view one, basic data one, and basic data two. Both will come under your basic view. Next, sales. Sales related data will becomes under your sales view, and purchasing related data will becomes under your purchasing view, and MRP related data you can able to see under your MRP view, and in the forecasting you can able to see here forecasting view, work scheduling view, and everything. See, whatever the views you have, you can able to see all those views over here. So which view you are going to create, you need to select that view as X. You need to select that view as X. So I'm just want to create my basic view. So that's it. So just click on copy, or everything will be transferred. Next, come back. So now you need to go ahead and provide your client data, which is nothing but your header data. So whatever the material you just provided, the same material number I just need to provide it over here too. So let me copy that material number, and I'm just going to make client data. So here we don't have anything, so it will be there in your down. Okay, we don't need to that. So now what are the things? So material group, if I go here to my display part, let me close this transaction, and also let me close this transaction. Let me open this thing. So if I go to my client data, what is the material group you have provided? The material group 001. So I'm just going to provide that one material group. And then what is your old material number? This is my old material number, so I just provided that one. So I'm just going to say 56. Next, what is the base unit of measure? So this one. So what is the base unit of ISO? This one. I'm just going to provide that. Apart from this, if you have any other details, so this is the one item category. So I just scroll down. I'll be just checking for your item category. Control F, Control F. So it will just go to that item category. So here I'm going to provide no. Any other details do we have? No, we don't have any other details. So just click on continue. Just click on continue. So now I'll just go back. So in postings, you will be having some one structure. So remember that when you're posting the data with S in using BAPI, when we are posting the data using the BAPI, using the BAPI. So we will be having something called as the BAPI update structure, or BAPI update field. If I go here, you can see which is nothing but your client data X structures. So now it will determine, it will, so what this will do, it will tell to the system, it will tell to the system which fields we are trying to update, which fields we are trying to update slash which fields we are trying to create in SAP. So this BAPI structure X has to be populated. Then only system knows that, okay, you're going to fill these fields in your SAP system. Then only the system will knows that. So now, what are the fields? If I go here, all these are single entry fields. What fields you have provided? Material group you have provided. So old material number you have provided. Base unit of measure you have provided. Base unit of measure ISO you have provided. And then I'll just go and say item category you have provided. The same fields, the fields name will be the same, but it will be only a single character value where you have to provide either X or space. So that's it. So these are the four values I'm just going to provide. So now let me go back, and then I need to provide my material description. Apart from this, what we have provided your units of measure, material group, old material number, industry sector. Now we do have our material descriptions. So I'll be just going to my table. So here, what is your language? So English. And what is your ISO? So Indian International Standards. So what is your ISO? So you just need to provide that, and material description. Test 7 a.m. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to give that one. Just click on continue. Now what you need to do, So I need to go ahead and click on my save data. So save, I'll just go ahead and say test 7 a.m. SE. I'm just going to provide that and I'll just click on save. Now, how to execute this one? So in order to execute, as I told you, you just need to call two two things. One is your BAPI and then which one, the other one is your BAPI transaction commit. Let me go ahead and click on execute and see whether if you are facing any issue or not. See here, the material has been created or extended. Till this time, the material will not be gets created. We have to use the BAPI transaction commit. We have to use that one. So now how can you use that one? Let me go back. I think I have saved this one. Go to my test data directory. Yeah, I have saved this one. So now let me go to slash and SC37. So how to execute this one? So you need to copy this one, click on function module, click on execute and click on test sequences. So how many function modules? If you want to execute multiple function modules one after the other, so then you need to click on this test sequence. Now this is my first function module I need to use. The second function module I need to use is a BAPI transaction commit to commit our transaction. So just click on execute. Now I'll go to my test data directory. I'll be selecting this one. I'll just click on execute. Now you can able to see here has been created slash extended. Now let me go back and BAPI transaction commit will come up into picture. So when you click on back, the second function module will come up. Just click on execute. Don't provide anything. Just click on execute. That's it. You don't need to do it. So once you have done these two things, then you will be going to slash O. So let me go to SE16N. So let me click on refresh. Previously it is 16. Right now it will be 17 records. Right now it will be 17 records. See here the 17 records. If I go here on my create a date, let me click a sorting functionality over here. See, this is the latest record I have created in our system. So if I go to mm03, so slash and mm03, let me provide this material and see here when I click on the basic data one, whatever the details you have provided, all those things has been came up into picture. All those things has been came up into picture. So this is the way you have to do your this is the way sorry this is the way you have to do it. Now let's go ahead and see how can you work with our code from the code. So slash o SE38. I'm going to do it from my application server. So I just need this program also. I just need this program too. So because till until this the code will be the same. Until this the code will be the same every time. The code will be the same till here. So I just need that one. So now I'll just go here SE38. So GI, this is an interface, the real-time transfer. We will be using this ZI 7 a.m. material master create. Material master create. So now let me click on create. Creating the material master data in the SAP, in our SAP. So I'm going to take this as executable program. Just click on save as I'm going to save that to my local object as of now. Now I'll be storing this as the no standard page heading, no standard page heading. So now I need to go ahead and declare my types declarations. Guys, can you ping you on your chat group that we are in class? Okay, the types declaration. So I'm just going to create my input structure. So this is my input structure. So let me copy this one. I'm just going to do it over here. So here you don't need to do it as string. Instead, you just go ahead and provide the respective details, MATNR, and what is this, MTART, and then MBRSH, and then MAKTX, and then MEINS, and then MATKL, and then BISMT, and I don't know about this one. I'm just going ahead with Mara hyphen. This is the one. So I'm just going ahead with this Mara hyphen. I know this one, so I'm just going to provide this one. Now, what we need to do, we need to go ahead and create our types declaration. GTT underscore mat type standard table of GTY underscore MAT, or else I'll go ahead and paste the same details. I'm going to provide this one as initial size 0, and then the respective data declarations, whatever the data declarations you have, I'm just going to provide that one along with my parameters, data declarations, and this is the one. So now this is my selection screen. So when you are writing it, guys, you should not write like this. As I told you, you have to always use your what I mean to say, includes, and you have to write down in the form of your class methods only. Write down in the form of your class methods only. Objective oriented approach has to be followed in every scenario. In every scenario, object oriented approach has to be followed. So every time I can't able to write down in such a way, so I'm just going ahead with the regular procedure. But when you guys are writing, you have to write down with your objective oriented procedure only. Okay, now I'm just going to, I don't need this BDC data right now, so I'll just remove this one, and yeah, that's it. So now I'll be writing my start of selection. So now I'll be going to read the data from the file, the same data, read the data, and this same logic. So until the read database has been completed and you have the data into your GTMat. Now this is the time for me to create. So the same way, I want to upload the file also. So this is the reading of your file. The same way I need to upload. So what I'm going to do, I'll be going to create one more types declaration, begin of GTY underscore output. I'm going to take this one, and then end of GTY underscore the GTY underscore the output. So now once you got this one, so now here I'll be taking this as material type MATNR, and the next one is we will be going to take what is the one? Yeah, message. So whatever the message and type, I'm going to give this as BAPI MSC. So I think so this is the right one. Okay, BAPI underscore MSC. Yeah, message text. Right. This is the one. So the message which I want to populate. Now the same thing, I just need to go ahead and create GTT underscore output type standard table of GTY underscore your output initial size your 0. Initial size 0. So this is the one. One second, guys. Okay. So now, so I'm just going to provide that one. So, so now I need to provide this data declaration GT underscore out. I'm just going to say type GTT underscore your output. GTT underscore your output, whatever the data declarations I have done. Now it's time for me to go ahead and call my BAPI. Call the BAPI to create the respective documents, to create the respective documents. Now, as we do have multiple things, we have to go ahead and say loop at loop at how you need to do gt underscore mat into gs underscore mat. So either the old way, I'll just show you the old way, I'll just explain you the old way how you will be doing. Old way, we will declare all the type, we will declare the corresponding types, and we will pass the data to that types. We'll pass the data to the types, and we will use that in our BAPI. We will use that in our BAPI. We will use that in our BAPI. So this is what we will be doing when you are posting the data. When you are posting the data. But right now, as we know, the inline declarations has been came up, as I already told you. So you can directly pass the values in your function module itself. So you just need to go ahead and say pattern. So what is your function module? BAPI underscore material underscore save data. So I'm just going back. So don't click on save. So this is the one. Let me call this BAPI and let me provide it over here and just click on continue. Just click on continue. Now here the header data. So I'll be just saying this as value hash. So directly I'm populating. So if it is not unable to determine, so go internally. Excuse me, guys. So this is your structure. Copy the structure, copy the structure, and then provide it over here and open your brackets. Now, what are the fields you have provided? The material. I'm just going to say material is equal to gs underscore mat hyphen the material, MATNR. And next, what is the second field? Industry sector. So industry sector, I'm just going to say gs underscore mat hyphen mbrsh. Now what is the third one? Material type. So I'm just going to provide this as material type, and then gs underscore mat hyphen matkl. And next one, what is the one you have used? The basic view. So I'm just going to say basic view is equal to abap true. Abap true. So that's it. Apart from this, do you have provided any other details? No, just do your pretty printer. Now the next one, what is the next details you have provided? The client data and your client data x. So the same thing. Now value hash. So instead of value hash, what you need to provide? The respective structure. Go ahead and provide that one. BAPI underscore the mara. The BAPI underscore the mara. Now what are the fields you have provided over here? Double click on this structure. So you have provided your material group. Material group is equal to what you have provided, gs underscore mat hyphen matkl. So this is the one. So what is the next one you have provided? The old material number. So old material number you have provided. So that one, gs underscore mat hyphen bismt. So this is the one you have provided, and then base unit of measure you have provided this as gs underscore mat hyphen meins. So this is the one, meins. So the next one, similarly you have provided the ISO, base unit of ISO. So now you just need to say gs underscore mat hyphen meins. So meins. So the same thing. Apart from this, along with this, you have provided your item category. Control F, item category you just provided. So I'm just going to provide that item category as gs underscore mat hyphen. So what is your item category? So this is the one, CTA. I'm just going to copy this one. I'm just going to provide these details. Now, in respect to of this, you just need to provide your client data X. So I'm just going to say value hash, value, what is this? BAPI Mara X, the same name. At the last, you will be seeing this as your X. At the last, you will be seeing this as your X. So the field names will be the same. I'm just going to copy the entire thing. But over here, instead of this one, I'll be just removing this, and you have to replace with your ABAP true. ABAP true is nothing but your X. Remember that. So I'm just going to provide that ABAP true. ABAP true, and this one also, and ABAP true. So that's it. Apart from this, do you have provided any other things? No. I'll just go ahead and remove the rest remaining other things. And here you will be providing your material descriptions also. So this is an internal table. Remember that, guys. So what you need to do is, so go back. So in the tables, we will be always using your structures only. You'll be always using your structure. If you double click on this, see here, you'll be having a structure. For this, we need to find out if you have any table type. Various list. So sorry, not various list. So select this, click on various list only. So remove everything and just select your table types and just click on continue to see if you have any table type. See here, we will have a table type. So you can use this, go here and check what is the access. This is a standard table. You can directly use this one. So now I'm going to populate this one. So value hash, value hash. I think for my tables parameters, it will not work. If I am not wrong, it will not work for, yes, exactly. This will not work for your tables parameters. Sorry, guys. Only for the importing parameters, it will work, not for your tables parameters. So tables parameters, you have to go ahead with your old approach only. We have to go ahead. But if it is a method parameters, you can use these things. But inside this function module, this is a flaw. This is a flaw. So you can't able to use your value parameter for your material description. For your material description, you can't able to use. So for your tables parameters, not only for that, even for your importing parameters, if I go ahead and say data off, it will not work. Inline declarations will not work for your importing parameters as well as your tables parameters. Tables parameters, the inline declarations as well as the inline declarations will not work. So only the exporting parameters you can able to pass with the help of your new syntaxes, but the importing and tables parameters you have to provide. But whereas if you are going to use your method parameters, you can able to use everything with the help of your inline declarations. So that's why I told you to go ahead and always use your class method approach only. So for this, I just need to go ahead and create our data declarations. Let me go ahead and create my data declarations. So what I'm going to do, gt underscore the material gt underscore description type, I'm just going to provide this one. So that's it. So now I'll just go ahead and do this one at a later point of time. So before that, what I need to do, I'll be just saying this, or else instead of that, I can just do an inline declarations over here. So I'm just going to do this. So here it will work. So how I will be doing data of gt underscore description. I'll be saying this as value hash, and you just need to provide your lines, whatever the lines you have. So I'm going to upload my first record. I told you the new syntaxes, guys. You have to go ahead and use your new syntaxes from here onwards. So what is your line type? This is my line type. So what is this? Language. So the language, so I'm just going to say langu. Sometimes they will also provide the language in your file itself. You have to copy that language. Remember that. So international standards. So I'm just going to say SAI LANGU, and then material description. I'll be just providing this as GS underscore mat hyphen MA KTX. MAKTX. That's it. One record I have uploaded. If you have two records, you just go ahead and upload your two records. Now I'm going to say call the BAPI, to post the materials, to post the materials in SAP. Materials in SAP. Now here, instead of that one, what I need to do, I need to go ahead and provide your GT underscore the description. So that's it. You have to provide this one. Now for your written, you just need to go ahead and say what is your written parameter which is there in your BAPI. What is your written parameter? I'm just going back. So if I go to my exporting written like BAPI ret2, so I'm just going to display this. So I just need to create this. So here we don't have any other option. So gs underscore ret type BAPI ret2, BAPI ret2. So this is the one. So I'll just copy this one. I'll be just providing it over here. And the same thing I'm going to provide it. GS underscore return. So now I'll be just closing this one. So now what I need to do, if size sub RC is equal to 0, if the size sub RC is equal to 0, or here we don't have any exceptions. So what I need to do, if gs underscore ret hyphen the type is equal to not equal to error. I would be saying this as not equal to E. So that means you have warning or success. So you just need to say transaction commit. I'll be going to say pattern BAPI transaction commit. So that's it. So you'll be just providing the exporting parameters as your ABAP true. You don't need to do that, but we will be doing this. Sometimes if there is uh, some other postings are be happening, and the update task are in the waiting period, so you have to put this one. Okay, this is for your processes. So for that reason we have to put this one. So now once you have done this, we'll be just saying else. So do your pretty printer. Yeah. So else you'll be writing the BAPI transaction rollback. So pattern. So BAPI transaction the rollback. That's it. You don't need to provide any other things. So that's it. So now once you have done with this, so what I need to do, I will be going to append my data. So this is the data I want to append. GT underscore out. GT underscore out. I just need to append this. So I'm going to say append value hash, append value hash. So matnr is equal to, what is that, gs underscore mat hyphen matnr, and then BAPI message. So this is the one, you just message. So where you will be getting your message from your return. So gs underscore ret hyphen your message into to GT underscore out. So that's it. We have filled our internal table. So now you can use that for your display purpose. So I'm going to say for my display, and I also need to place a file in my, I also need to place the file in A11. Place the file in AL11. AL11. So you can do that with your conditional operator. So display part I am not going to show you, as we have already seen in your reportings. So CL underscore SLV underscore table factory method, you have to use it, and then you go ahead and display the data. So that's the thing you have to use. How to place the file into your AL11. So I'll be going to create one more thing, comma p underscore output type. I'm going to take this as the string. So this is to keep your output. So the same thing. So in order to keep this, you have just need to use the same thing, open data set. As I use this close data set, sorry, here once this is done, you have to use your close data set, p underscore input. You just need to do this one, guys. I forgot to tell you this. So now here open data set, for instead of input you have to use for your output, for your output. So this is the one you have to use it. Once you have used this, again I'm going to say, see, this is your output, p underscore out, p underscore output. So then close data set, p underscore output. So here once you have done this, so I'm going to do my pretty printer. Let me click on check if you see any issues. No issues at all. So here what I need to do, the first thing is we need to convert the entire structure into a string. We need to convert the entire structure, the output structure, into a string, into a string via a separator, via a separator. Whatever the separator you have, you go ahead and use that separator, and then you need to use your transfer the string to your file, transfer the string to the file. So the new syntax you are going to see, one is called as your transfer. So now what I'm going to do this one, so now I'm going to say loop at what is my output, gt underscore out into data of gs underscore out. I'm just going ahead with my old syntax, or you can go ahead with your new syntax. Data gs underscore string is equal to, I'm just going to concatenate, or I'll be just providing this one in the old syntax, gs underscore out hyphen material number, concatenate with comma separator, and then one more concatenation, gs underscore out hyphen the message. So that's it. So do your pretty printer. Let's click on check to see any issues. No issues. Then transfer gs underscore str to g to p underscore your output. So that's it. This is what you have to do it. So once you have done this, let me click on activate. So now no issues. So now let me go ahead and put a breakpoint over here, and then let me click on execute. You will be having your, I'm going to take the same file and I'll be copying this one. I'm going to place it mat file 7am out, or I'll be going to take se underscore out output file. So I'll just click on execute. The input file and output file I have provided. So now if I go here to my GT material, you will be having your three records. The first record you don't need to do this as this is a structure. So again, program got terminated because of this one type conflict. That's fine. So let me SE38. I know it. So let me click on display. I'll be just going to my change mode. I'll be taking if psi tabix is equal to 1, then I'm going to take this as continue. The same thing. You don't need that one. So do your pretty printer and let's get activate your code. And now let me click on execute. and then I'll be providing my input file, I'll be providing my output file, and let me click on your execute. So now, so F5. So first one is site ABIX continue. The second one, I'm just going to provide that one. And then whatever the details I have I'll be just providing this as the F6. 1 second, guys. Okay. So F6 program got terminated. Type conflict. There is a type conflict. What is that? Where it is? The type conflict. You have provided the same type conflict types only, right? Yeah, here this should be BAPI Mara X. So I just copied it, but I forgot to paste it as X. So that's the reason it's showing me as error. So now I'm going to SC38 again. I'll be just clicking on the change mode. So now I forgot to keep this as X. So because of that, it is showing me as type conflict. Okay. So now let me provide those details again. And I'll just click on execute. Now F5, F5, F5. So now F6. So now you can able to see it is running. It is trying to create. See how much time it is taking the BAPI to create a material in SAP system. So now in my GS ret, if you go here, this is your success message. So the same thing, if it is in success, we are just going to commit. We don't have an error, we have an X. So if I go here, this is an S. So now BAPI transaction commit F7. I don't want to see this code. I just want to come back. Okay, now it's got committed to my database, and then I'm just adding the values to my GT out. So the first record has been added, the material has been created slash extended. Now in the same way, the second record also I'm just going to do that one. It will be throwing me an error, so which is nothing but, so once it is error, we have to roll back this one, and F5, it will be adding the record. The material type does not exist, the material type. Now, once after this one, so open data set, the size of us is equal to 0. I'm going to read this. So in my string, the material with a concatenation, I'm just going to transfer. The same thing, I'm just going to transfer and then close data set. It will just close your data set. Just click on output. Now let me go to /O AL11. Sorry, the transactions has been done. So /N AL11. Now, what is our file? Y01 SRC. There is this. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. So here you can see the out. The MacBus file SAP out. You can able to see here the same thing. Now this file, the third party will able to read it and they can know whether it's a success message. So you can also keep this as S and E also. S stands for your success as well as E stands for your error. You can tell them. You can tell them that this is a success and this is the error message. Okay. So this way you can able to create the materials using your BAPI, using your BAPI. Already I shown you. If I want to get the details, you just go ahead and call the function module, pass the respective parameters, and you can able to get the details with the help of your BAPI. So by this, we have completed your BAPI, and tomorrow we are going to start it with your IDOCs. IDOCs. So before I going to signing off for today's session, any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. I'll be considering it as no questions. Let me stop the recording.